Hey guys, it's Kenz
and Shell.
Welcome back to the Effortless Podcast. We are happy to be here, aren't we?
We are.
So like we said in the last little blurb, we're gonna be going every other week now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like just crazy schedules.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll go back to once a week, but for this season of life, for this era,
yeah, that's like such a thing right now. Era,
isn't it? Because of Taylor Swift.
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I am not a huge Taylor Swift follower person.
I'm not either.
So I have no idea. What was the
thing though that you read about? She brought how much billions of dollars into the NFL or something?
Oh, like it was like a crazy amount, like 334 billion or million or I don't know, like that has been attributed to her being associated with the NFL.
With TK?
Mm-hmm. TK?
Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what will happen if they ever break up.
I was literally thinking about this. I'm like, I wonder how much pressure that puts on them to break up versus not break up, or like if they're I don't know, like if they were like on the rocks at any point, and then they're like, but the blow up of this via social media is gonna be. I know, like I'm curious.
Oh my gosh, everybody's screaming upstairs right now,
including Greg.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Who are you rooting for the Super Bowl?
I don't know too much about either team, so I feel like what I know about Patrick Mahomes is like good, so I feel like I would root for him, but like honestly, I have I feel like Jordan and Mariah would be like very upset at me for not having a strong opinion, but I feel like I need to not root against, or I need to root against San Francisco, so I'm going to say Kansas because I know that Mariah
all over them.
I know there's a hair on my microphone. It's getting caught on my lip. But I feel like for Mariah, I'm going to say.
Who's Mariah? Nobody knows who Mariah is.
Mariah and Jordan are my friends. Oh my gosh.
But they're like loving diehard friends.
Yeah, they're two of my best friends, but I feel like they are they're know invested. Football in and out. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyways,
to clear that up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what I would say. That's a really long answer for not that extreme of a who are you rooting for?
What you said. Ditto.
She's like, I'm rooting for Usher.
Let it burn.
I'm honestly like very excited for the halftime show.
Yeah. Also, Let It Burn. The way I said that was not very accurate.
Do you want to
Let It Burn?
Do you want to try again? Or?
I feel like I can't think of the actual tune right at this moment.
I can, but
Sing it.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I know, but I like for some reason the Let It Burn part I can't like get down right this second. Let it burn. That's not it.
Practice makes perfect, though, you know.
I'll start working on it. I am excited for that. That'll be good times. The Super Bowl's fun.
It's just like a fun event. Yeah.
Be good times. Okay. Into our actual topic of the evening. Today we're going to be talking about bitterness and forgiveness. And Shelly you've been like on your everything as far as like your past relationship is now to a complete close as far as like
yes. No more connections.
No more connections. The final connections have been severed. Let it burn, baby. Let it burn.
What a long time coming.
Long time coming, but I'm very proud of you. I feel like it's like a big step.
Yeah.
Did you feel emotional when it was like the final ties were?
I did. I love that you like ask as if I wasn't here as it happened, but
what happened? I'm just kidding. You know what happened, but
yeah, I feel like it was kind of emotional, but I didn't really
say whatever you want to say about.
Yeah, I feel like as the final things were happening, I feel like I kind of didn't like feel any necessarily like feelings of like
this is actually it.
Yeah, or like I feel super sad right now. I was crying, but I almost feel like I didn't really know why. Like it's not like I had like an overwhelming sense of like sadness or like I don't know. I just feel like I felt almost numb kind of, but then it was crying. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But it's
well, partially
and
I feel like it's a big deal because it's like now legitimately you never have to talk to him again.
Yeah.
If you don't want to.
And maybe that's like, because it's not even like it like a feeling lingered later or
Right.
anything. Like it was just like,
that's
kind of just like it is what it is. Because I mean, I've been living like this for
there's just been a few
or
things
whatever.
that you've had to like
Yeah.
finish off.
Yeah. So I feel like,
but that's a big step to have like that behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like literally your life.
Fully like able to like rewrite
your story.
My story.
The Shelly Dawn story. The Michelle Dawn story.
Wow.
For those of you that don't know,
name.
Michelle.
Nobody knows that.
Oh,
wow. Now everybody knows that. Wow.
Michelle. But she doesn't love being called Michelle, so.
So thanks for telling everybody. That's really great.
Michelle Dawn.
Oh, Michelle Dawn.
The Michelle Dawn story is underway.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect to see in the Michelle Dawn story?
Some really big things. I don't have anything like that exciting to say. But as far as like completely closing that chapter of my life, I feel like the next step is forgiveness, which I know I like mentioned like going through therapy and all the things. And I feel like that's something that isn't really talked about. Like you talk about, like working through it and like getting through it. And it's like there's always going to be like lingering emotions, I'm sure, that continue hopefully to dwindle and or whatever.
Or it's like, also, or like you talk about it sort of, but it's like you don't really understand what it fully means.
Yeah.
Or like how do you know when you've fully forgiven somebody? How do you know?
No, I have no idea.
Oh.
But you know what? I was kind of thinking about it and I almost can, or what I imagine it being like is when right after I went through the initial breakup.
Yeah.
And I was kind of having, which I talked about in a previous episode, the like identity crisis. Cause like my identity was so caught up in him that when I wasn't with him anymore, I was like so lost. I had no identity. And I remember talking to my therapist and being like, I didn't know that's what I was originally going through. Then there was like a name to it. And so then I kind of understood like, oh, okay, like I feel like I don't have an identity anymore. Yeah. So you have to build that back up. And I remember asking like, how do I know when I, like, how do you know that you have an identity
like tangible
again? Yeah.
Right?
Or it's, I know.
Yeah. It's like there's not,
It's not like something you can like
see.
Yeah.
Or a check mark.
Or like accomplish. Like, it's not like I have to do this, this, and this, and then I know it's done.
Yeah.
And I remember like they didn't really like have necessarily a specific answer for me, but I just remember like continuing to just like go through the process. And it's definitely just a feeling. Like if you
the identity.
Yeah. Like you keep going and you just like keep going, doing what you know you're supposed to do to like get through the fight or the healing and going through that process. I feel like it's almost just like an inner feeling. Like you might not feel like 100% back to your normal self, but you're like, I have just like a little bit more peace. And you just can like feel that like in your body.
And now you just got to protect that peace.
So I almost attribute it to that
thing with forgiveness. Yeah. You'll just kind of like feel the feels.
Or like, or I know I had given you an example the other day of.
I'm going to give the example.
I know. I cannot. I am not going to, but
or you thought you were doing pretty, or there's little things that kind of either say, okay, I'm moving in. Well, you are moving in the right direction as far as forgiveness and bitterness goes. But then there's like little things that you're like, oh,
I'm not 100%
and then you're like,
there yet.
Oh, wait. Okay. I guess that's apparently I'm not fully there, but
yeah.
But you're working as hard as you can to get there. And I feel like you're doing the right things.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's also hard.
For sure hard. Especially because I remember, so I'm like reading this book, like trying to get through not get through it, but like work through it. And one of them was like, one of the first pages is like, talks about how hard it is to forgive somebody who's never going to ask for forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like interesting concept because it's like, you're forgiving somebody who didn't think they did anything wrong. Yeah. They still don't ever think that they've done something wrong, but like, you've been wronged. And so it's like, okay, I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
And they're not asking for it and they're never going to. And so that was almost like the first hurdle is like,
understanding that.
Yeah, like, I'm not doing this for them. Like, it is
but
for
it's
me.
still completely necessary.
Yes. For me
for you to move on and to be like
like
fully
a
ready to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
so true.
there was
But even being able to like recognize that, I feel like is good. You're
Yeah.
so mature.
Wow, thanks. I'm so mature. No one's ever said that to me before.
Well, it's coming from me,
I
so take
it with a grain of salt. But on that same note, I feel like it is super important. And this is actually something that because your dad obviously has counseled me quite a bit. Canceled me.
Yeah.
Or like has
Helped
guided
you,
me
yeah.
quite a bit through this process. And he was actually super good or he was like, in my experience with any sort of forgiveness in his life, he was just like, I realized at a pretty young age that if you don't forgive, like that bitterness will like literally just eat you alive, and it just ruins you. Like it doesn't
it's
even
not hurting
affect
that person,
anybody else. Like it really just affects you. And I like didn't understand that at first.
Yeah.
Because I was still in it when he had told me this. And it's like a part of you is just like, no, like I'm still so frustrated, whatever. And now that I've obviously like gone through all of this stuff, I'm like, okay, it totally makes sense. Because if I just like harbor it in my body, like you can like feel it and it starts coming out at like other people, or it's like you hold on to other things and you're just like, it really just
it does like
ruins
affect,
you.
Yeah.
And then, which is like not good.
No.
And you don't want to live like that.
No. I feel like, so what are your steps that you've been actively taking to work towards forgiveness and letting go of bitterness?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put you on the spot.
Right. Well, so something for me that's huge is I'm working through a devotional book, and it's actually videos and
why don't you tell me about
book. I did. I did tell you. I did, because I got through like half of it and I was like, I started it a while ago and it was still a little too fresh. So I didn't go through.
It's fuzzy in my mind now.
I was going to say I definitely did, because we talked about it.
Yeah. I feel
and I was like, I feel like I can't quite get through this, because I felt like it was just like too.
It's coming back.
Yeah. Too much at the time. So, working through that, because it's a lot of like self-reflection and like it's a lot of conviction about yourself. Like you're like, dang. Yeah, like I really, and change is hard. Like to change habits, and not that I don't have a habit of having bitterness or anything, but I mean just like the way you think, or like
you really have to change your mindset about stuff.
Which can be,
and it's more than just being like, okay, fine. It's like
I
you
forgive.
literally have to like rewire your brain.
Yeah. And you're really like, you have to like work at it. Like it's something that if you truly want to forgive somebody, that's like really hard to do, to like truly to like truly have let go, so that in the future, if that person's name is mentioned, or like that person if somebody's talking to me about that person, like if I have truly forgiven, like I should have no hard feelings, like
want the best for them.
Yeah, want the best for them. And like
your best friend might not feel the same way. I think I'm allowed to.
But it's like, I mean, that's like really hard.
I'll do it to work there. My forgiveness for that little piece of work.
Right. So I feel like so actively like, and you have to kind of like go through some of the emotions that you don't want to feel, and working through that. So I feel like it's still part of like the healing process, but so I feel like, I'm working through the workbooks things. Yeah. And then I pray a lot about it. Yeah. And then just making sure that even in my day-to-day life, like if something's frustrating, I'm like, okay, let's like almost like I'm working on like forgiving just
as things
day to day. Yeah. Like, and like really minor things that I obviously am not going to hold any sort of bitterness towards, but like almost just like getting in that mindset and then just
being like quick.
Yeah. I feel like I've read so many verses in the Bible about forgiveness and like how God forgave us and how we're really called to just forgive like 1,000,000 times. Yeah. And so I feel like that's how I am personally doing it, and I feel like it has made a difference, and I'm so aware of it. Yeah. And good. I feel like obviously my whole mindset has changed so much in the past multiple years for the better. Yeah.
And then will you talk about or I feel like we should talk about remember what you were saying the other day about like you being single, but not
What
like
about
talking
it?
or like how you're
Thanks
still
for
single.
reminding me. It's truly no. I'm just kidding.
No,
I
but
think I
how
know you're
you
saying.
realized about like how you feel like, at least for you, it's been good.
Yeah,
that you've
literally.
which,
Okay, yeah.
not that you're not ready. You would be ready probably for
A relationship now.
But
yes, I feel like right now in this day and age, like it's like you always if you're single, even if you're not single nowadays,
honestly,
you're constantly talking to somebody. So whether that's via social media, texting, you meet somebody online, like it's almost like you're emotionally in contact with somebody,
and you feel like dependent on like
or like you're constantly like excited to talk to that person, or like it's like you're in an emotional relationship almost with somebody at all times. And whether you know that that's not going to be somebody you're going to be with forever, or like, it's just really interesting to me because I feel like I have noticed that trend. And I used to be the same way. Like, I mean,
because it ultimately
when
it
I
feels
broke up,
good to have somebody to talk to and to flirt with and to like
get attention from, like,
like who doesn't like that?
Exactly. And people like it even when they're in a relationship. Like that's how much people like it.
Yeah.
And so
not okay, but
it's totally not okay. But like that's how like enticing it is to just like chat with somebody and like flirt with somebody. And I feel like it's just so easy to do nowadays because like via social media and like just all the ways you can meet people online. And I just think that is one reason. And this is just strictly my own thoughts and perspective. That is one reason why people don't fully heal after relationships. And whether it was a traumatic relationship or just like a normal relationship, like after any sort of significant relationship, like there are things you should work through for sure. But I feel like there is a large portion that don't do it.
And like you don't ever get to the point of like working through your own things because you're just so quick to be into the next.
Yeah.
And not like really focusing on like yourself and like your needs and what you're like it's almost like you have to like reset.
Yeah.
And like be like, okay, wait, who am I? What are my goals?
Like,
what is the direction I'm going? What do I want? And like, is this person that I'm all of a sudden talking to in line with this? Or is it just for like the quick fix of it feels good to talk to
filling a space? Yeah. Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong. I obviously you know this more than anybody, but like it's really hard to be single or like because you do feel like super alone at times. Yeah. But then that's like literally how you reset your mindset if you need a reset. Some people don't need to like reset their whole mindset, but like,
or it might not be a super long process or something.
Yeah. But I feel like it's super important and very valuable. And there's so much to help yourself grow in those situations, but you have to be really vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I feel like
you have to really not like listen to what people say. Cause I feel like everybody's like, why are you single? Why are you single? Why are you single? It's like, shut the F up.
Yeah.
Like
you get a ton. Yeah.
Like I'm fully aware.
Or everybody like tries to set you up or like, you get asked all the time.
Which not that you're opposed to like meeting people. Obviously that's great. But like, also, I feel like there's such like kind of the same thing with like people and having kids where it's like you're just if you're like married, it's like you're having kids. But some people don't want kids. That's fine.
Right.
But it's like such like you're like why aren't you? But it's kind of same thing with being single. It's like why like you don't have to have somebody at all times to like complete you.
Yeah.
That's not even a thing, remember? It's like nobody completes you. They shouldn't complete you. They compliment you or whatever.
Yes. Like you should be whole before you meet somebody else.
Because God makes you whole.
Yeah. Exactly. And I feel like that's what it is. Like if you leave a relationship, maybe a little piece of you was left in that relationship.
Maybe for the better.
Yeah. And like you're vulnerable in relationships. So it's like, I don't think it's not always a negative thing. But then it's like you need a little bit of time or a lot of time for some of us.
5 to 12 years.
Right. To like complete yourself again. And then that's how you're going to like truly compliment somebody else.
Yeah.
But I feel like right now, that's such a great job. That's such a good analogy because now I feel like there's all these half people running around trying to complete me. A bunch of Jenga pieces like running or like, whatever.
You are complete. That's
but a lot of people aren't, and then they're just like looking for somebody to like complete them. But it's like
with that mindset,
you might feel it at the beginning that you feel like complete, but like a year down the road in the relationship, you're gonna feel off or whatever.
Well, because it's the same thing that like nobody, like everybody's gonna let you down.
Yeah,
at some point.
Sure. Yeah,
because we're all human.
Yeah.
So like you can't bank on somebody being there to like
perfect
fix all your issues or to like be what you are missing or like be that missing piece. So I'm never telling Greg that he completes me. I am complete, Greg.
But that's why you guys do so well together, because I feel like you guys each know that. Like you guys were complete before you met, and now you guys just complement each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really important, like,
it is so important
for people to realize that like you're never going to find somebody who's going to like satisfy all your needs.
No.
It's not happening. Mm-mm. So.
And it's really hard to find. And this is just like, I have quite a few friends that like I work with, or just like people that I know who are also single and they're dating. And it's just also really hard to find people who have had trauma and have like worked hard to get through it and don't bring that trauma into a relationship, because it's hard to work through and a lot of people just don't do it. And then it's obviously shows.
This might be controversial.
Oh gosh.
Because I know some people feel strongly about this and some people don't. Do you believe in soulmates, that there is one person that you're meant to like be with? Or do you think that there could be multiple people that like would complement you the same way? Because actually, I almost feel like if you believe that it's complement, not complete, then there wouldn't be a soulmate, like, or there wouldn't be like the one.
Yeah. I feel like if you would have asked me this like 10 years ago, I'd been like, oh my gosh, everybody has a soulmate, like one person. But I feel like now that I'm older and wiser, I do kind of think that, I mean, I feel like I'm kind of back and forth. Like
it's like you're meant to be with whoever you're with, sort of thing.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you couldn't be just as happy with somebody else. But then it's like, well, you're not going to be with that person because you're meant to be with this person.
Because it's like interesting if you like if you were with somebody for a really long time and then they died or like something happened to them, and then you find somebody else and you like also feel like super happy. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Or like you could like be just as happy with.
But do you feel as like, now I'm going to say the word complete because it's like in my head, but like, I know you're already complete before you met them. But do you feel as like connected to them? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I do think that there's like personalities that are just
fit well together, like click.
And you, or like, it's like you have so much in common, like your personalities are just it and they vibe super well. I do think that could be like once in a lifetime.
Yeah, that's true.
But
so we don't know.
Yeah. Do you have a strong? Because I feel like you're pretty strong on like, there's not one person for everybody. Like you could, because I do think you could be equally happy with two people at different times. But
well, more it's like, okay, say my thing, I guess, is like, I mean, I believe that like you are, you know, a lot of like end up with who you're supposed to be. But then again, you're also like, you ended up with somebody for a long time that you weren't supposed to be with. So just because you're with that person isn't like, oh, that's just like where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which not to say that was obviously part of your plan. And like, I think that like a lot will come out still of like that time of your life and like why it happened. So I think everything is used for your final plan. But also I'm like, I don't feel like, I mean, obviously like I'm married. So I feel like it's like, I'm obviously super happy with Greg in my life and situation. But I also think that if I lived in North Carolina, who's to say I wouldn't have met somebody that like, and you just don't know. Like, I don't think there's like a one person that is like, you would never
feel that way with anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, there's like
so I don't think that there's
just one soulmate for everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's kind of weird because it's like if you like are happy and like in a happy relationship, then it's like easier to feel like, I mean, because then I'm like, well, yeah, I guess Greg's my soulmate. Because like I can't imagine not being with him.
Well, yeah.
But I do think that like there's not one person for everybody.
Yeah.
I guess. Or like Greg could have been probably just as happy with somebody else too.
It's like so weird.
Or like I don't even like saying, or like it feels weird to say because obviously I want to be with Greg.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I'm more just saying like if I hadn't met him.
Like if you went to a different college.
If I went to a different college, I feel like he almost did go to a different college.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Right. Like it totally was meant to be.
I agree. I believe in like meant to be situations.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't even know if it's really relevant or not. If it's like, oh, well, it's meant to be that Greg and I ended up together.
For sure. Like I feel like obviously it all happened for a reason and that's why you guys are together. Yeah. Or that's why you guys all both went to feel you.
So I feel like it's like I'm kind of half and half on it.
Yeah.
So there's that. So anyways, no soulmates.
No soulmates. I am kind of like stuck on it too because I feel like when I'm thinking about it, I feel like, I mean, me and you as friends,
we're
like
soulmate best friends.
Yeah.
There's nobody else I'd be best friends with. Like,
but that's the thing. It's like I think that our like personality, it's like one of those things where it's just like
everything like clicks so well.
That if you were gonna like put, or if you're like, do you think you could do that with somebody else? It's like,
no.
I know. So it's like if you think about that in a relationship, like what if you meet somebody that you're just like you vibe with, you think the same, your personalities click so well, your morals align. It's like maybe they are your soulmate.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay, so
but I don't
soulmates are a thing, apparently.
Maybe. I'm really going back and forth.
I know. I don't know.
Really
you don't have to have a specific answer. I was just curious if you had a strong opinion one way or another.
No, I don't, clearly.
I guess I don't either. I thought I had a stronger opinion.
But yeah, I feel like it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
And I feel like it depends what phase of life you're in.
Well, that's true too.
Kind of makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was thinking about this the other day. This is so random. But I kind of, now that I'm like all put back together.
Complete.
Now I'm complete. I want to do my love language again. The quiz.
Do you think it'd be different?
Yeah, I do. I think it would be.
Do you think that your love language changes with like whoever you're with?
I don't know if it changes with whoever you're with, but I almost feel like
your needs when you were in that relationship were different because of like
the situation. Yeah.
Or is like survival mode of like.
Or like any sort of affection. So it's almost like.
You would take any of them. Right? Sort of.
Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder if they'd be way different or not. I don't know.
This is so random. I just keep thinking about this. Randomly, lately, you've been talking. And when you talk, it's like you almost talk as though you have like Invisalign in your mouth.
Oh, really?
Like the way that you like move your lip over your teeth.
Oh, weird.
Or like say some things.
Mm-hmm.
I keep being like.
I have Invisalign.
You have Invisalign, but you didn't tell me.
No,
I don't know why or what it is.
Weird.
Anyways, sorry, it's so random off topic.
That's
but
random.
The way something about like the way you've been like saying some things,
talking,
and like the way it sounds coming out of your mouth, it like sounds like you have Invisalign in.
Oh, weird.
Or like a retainer.
I don't retainer.
Maybe
no secret and retainer or anything. Like I have been going to the dentist a lot lately.
Didn't you say your dentist is kind of hot,
dude?
You never actually told me about him this last time.
I was just really caught me off guard
because he's cute.
Yeah, so I like went, but then it was
your soulmate? Do you think?
I don't think he was my soulmate.
Did you really have to go back to the dentist this last time? Was that necessary, or could he have done what he did last time before?
I don't know. I was really confused because I like got a cavity filled and then they told me I had to come back, and I was like confused because I'd never had to do that before.
Mm-hmm. So maybe he just prolonged the process so he could see you again.
Well, my schedule had actually gotten mixed up during the ice storm because I was supposed to go, and then they were like, so that other dentist can't come in. We're going to have you come with this other dentist. And that's how I ended up meeting this dentist. I didn't remember his name, actually. I mean, I could look it up.
So wait, did you see this dentist again, or was it you saw the one that you were with.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts
Is he married?
are he has no ring.
Okay.
So
it's a good sign. But neither does Greg, and he's married. So
right. But also it's like the dentist, so you can't really chat it up.
Yeah, especially when you're numb. Like you have the half smile situation happening.
Every time I go to the dentist, they're like, "Oh my gosh, your mouth is so small." I'm like, "Wow, we've gone over this."
So do you think that turns him off?
Times? Maybe. They like tell me it every time. I'm like, I am so aware. Thank you. Yes.
So I've been told.
Anyways, yeah, he was cute. I walked in, I was like, kind of like, whoa,
dentist.
Yeah.
Hey, daddy. Do you think we say daddy in every episode?
Maybe.
Okay.
Should it turn into the daddy podcast?
Oh my gosh. Daddy. The daddy pod.
Yeah.
Okay, but back to the dentist. So
the dentist, yeah. I mean, nothing.
Find out more.
I don't know. I feel like it's first kind of weird to do that.
Tall?
Maybe like a little bit taller than me.
Okay.
No. But
did he like?
He was really nice, but no lines were crossed in the dental chair or anything.
That's good. Maybe next time. He'll probably call you back saying that he forgot to do something. You know?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I'm not scheduled now for another, 5 to 7 months or whatever it is. 4
maybe
months.
That's the time you need to continue to heal.
To fully forgive.
Yeah.
No, but he was cool. He's cool.
He's cool.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but it's also really hard to judge how old people are these days.
Yeah. With Botox and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm due.
But you'll have to ask him. Old enough to be through dental school.
That's true.
Working.
That's true.
You would know if he's like super young.
Yeah. Because I don't even know like how old you are fresh out of dental school. Like if that was like
it's not as long as like med school.
No.
But still.
Yeah. Anyways. Who knows? Anyways.
So that's exciting.
Super
okay.
exciting.
Anything else that you want to talk about today?
I don't think so. I feel like I've said all my
thoughts.
I
feel like you had good things that could be very helpful for anybody going through any sort of forgiveness process. And I feel like everybody should or in like has scenarios that like they might not even realize.
And honestly, don't even think about it as like forgiving that person. Do it for yourself.
Right.
Even. Because it just like makes you more happy.
Yeah, it's not for the other person. It's for you.
Yeah.
It's great, Shell. Good stuff. Good stuff. And if you're single, like good luck finding your soulmate.
Yeah.
It may or may
not
happen.
Says all the super happy married people. So that's good.
I'm a super happy married person, and I'm not fully convinced about this soulmate situation. So
yeah, you're right. But
anyways. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Effortless Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the Effortless Podcast with all your friends and family and single friends and happily married friends. Okay, we're done. See you later. Bye.